Just look at this Kawasaki Ninja H2R. Doesn't it look amazing? I wonder how fast the Kawasaki Ninja H2R is going to be. What will the price be of the Kawasaki Ninja H2R? Well, one question that we don't have anymore is how much does it weigh? We found out recently that the weight on the Ninja H2, the street version of this bike, is 524.7 pounds. I gotta admit, when I first heard the weight, I was a little bit concerned. I was expecting it to weigh a little bit less than it does. But then I thought about it a little bit more, and now I'm not so concerned at all. Of course, when I test ride the Ninja H2, at that point I'll have my official position. But until then, I'm not really that concerned. And I'll explain why a little bit later. But there's been a lot of people talking online, like for example, Speed Demon Z. He says, first of all, he references that the bike is $40,000. I don't know where he gets that price from. He says it's underpowered and it's a heavy pig. Really? Well, for those of you guys that are complaining about the Ninja H2 and the Ninja H2R, saying that they're too heavy and they cost too much, I think you're missing the big picture. And for those of you that are thinking about canceling your orders, go right ahead. Myself and Jay Leno, who is very interested in Ninja H2, will not be losing any sleep over it. So go ahead and do what you like, and go where you like, and do who you like. What? Flashback from the 80s. If anybody has any idea where those lyrics came from, go ahead and comment below. So anyway, here you go, naysayers and haters. Listen up.
You fool! Let me tell you about the latest bike from Kawasaki. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R. The most amazing motorcycle ever produced by anyone, ever! The Kawasaki Ninja H2R features over 300 horsepower. Features aerospace technology, Formula One, and MotoGP technology, and carbon fiber. A trellis high tensile steel frame. There is a rumor from the 9th realm that the Ninja H2R was built according to the specs provided by the devil himself. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? The Ninja H2R is far, far, far beyond belief. And although it is track only, you can buy the street Ninja H2 for only $25,000.
Okay, so let's break down all the complaints about the bike. So first of all, I heard people saying about, oh, it's a track-only bike. The Ninja H2R has over 300 horsepower. Where on earth do you think you're going to utilize 300 horsepower on the street? You're probably not even going to be able to top out this bike on most racetracks, much less on the street. I know, some of you guys are saying, oh, I could use 300 horsepower on the street. I already have a bike that's in a similar horsepower range that I built up. Well, guess what? The Ninja H2 and the Ninja H2R share a very similar engine. As a matter of fact, the foundation or the basic components of the engines are the same. There's just about 4 or 5 parts that have been changed between the H2R and the H2 engine. So what does this mean? You can probably upgrade an H2 to an H2R as far as the engine goes anyway, for not that much amount of money. So if you really want to have a 300 horsepower bike on the street, go right ahead. $25,000 is your entry fee, and then go ahead and give some performance shop a call. Then the next thing is that it's not race eligible. So what kind of race do you think is going to allow you to race a 300 horsepower motorcycle? And what does that have to do with anything? That's kind of like dating a supermodel and complaining about the fact that she's no longer eligible for beauty pageants. She's a supermodel! Who cares whether she's eligible to compete or not? It's all about the fun that you're having with her, right? Not about what other people think about her. Or is it? I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The Ninja H2 is supposed to be about the experience. How does it feel riding the bike? When you twist that throttle with that supercharger in there, that tremendous amount of anticipated acceleration, and that smile from ear to ear will not be in any way affected by race eligibility. Who the hell cares? Oh, you do? You're a racer? You want to race? Well, guess what? Kawasaki has the ultimate racing bike already. It's called the ZX-10R. This bike is not intended to compete with the ZX-10R. It's an entirely different level. It's an entirely different animal. and race eligibility is simply not relevant. Then the next complaint is, it's too expensive, $25,000. I could just get the Yamaha. Well, I will admit the Yamaha does have electronic suspension. That's the one thing with the Yamaha that kind of caught my eye, and I would like to see that on a Ninja H2 or Ninja H2R. But that alone is not enough for me to justify the downgrade from the H2 or H2R to get a Yamaha. Not knocking the Yamaha, it looks like an awesome bike, but it's simply not in the same category of the Ninja H2 or H2R. This bike not only looks amazing, has amazing technology on it, but it's also a piece of history. Not just of Kawasaki history, but of motorcycling history. And it's gonna have a level of exclusivity that's gonna be tough to beat. But let's get down into the details of the cost, the price of the Ninja H2 versus other bikes. So some people try to compare the ZX14R to the Ninja H2. Well, let's get into the details. So the Ninja H2 has up to 207 horsepower, 98.4 foot-pounds of torque, 524.7 pounds. If we compare that to a ZX14R, the ZX14R is 59.6 pounds heavier. So let's put that in perspective. A 60-pound difference between the ZX14R and the Ninja H2. The weight difference between the Ninja H2 and the ZX14R is the equivalent of a golden retriever. So imagine a rider on a Ninja H2 has a golden retriever on his back. That's what it's like riding a ZX14R in comparison. That's a lot of weight for a motorcycle. What's the difference between the weight of the Ninja H2 and the ZX10R? The weight of an Irish wolfhound. And that's a huge dog. That's a lot of weight difference between the ZX10R and the Ninja H2. However, the ZX10R is a race bike. The Ninja H2 is a hyper bike. Comparing the two is like comparing a ZX10R to a ZX14R, or comparing a ZX10R to a Hayabusa. Two completely different categories of motorcycles. There is no realm at all whatsoever that the Ninja H2R or Ninja H2 is supposed to compete with a bike like a ZX10R, or any other super sport bike for that matter. The H2 and the H2R are all about extreme acceleration, cutting-edge technology, extreme levels of exclusivity, and owning a piece of history. If you'd like me to do a more detailed comparison of the Ninja H2, H2R, the ZX10R, and the ZX14R in the future, go ahead and click on subscribe, thumbs up this video, and I'll do that in the future. Because at this point, I want to move on to some other points. Let's focus on the weight. Because people are complaining and saying the bike is too heavy. Here's the critical factor that everyone seems to be missing. Again, the Ninja H2 and the Ninja H2R are all about acceleration and high speed. When it comes to high speeds, lightweight is not your friend. If you look at any extreme speed vehicle, whether it's a car or motorcycle, typically they're going to be heavier because with that weight comes more stability. You don't want a really lightweight vehicle dancing around at extreme speeds. Now, there are exceptions. There are vehicles that are really fast, that are lightweight, but many of those vehicles have resulted in people dying, or at least they're known to be very dangerous or scary. Now, if Kawasaki wanted this bike to be the ultimate bike in terms of speed and wanted you to have a lot of fun on it, then making it lightweight like a ZX10R probably wouldn't be the way to go. As it is, I'm already a little bit intimidated by the power of the Ninja H2 and the Ninja H2R in particular. If it weighed like a ZX10R, man, oh man, with that short wheelbase, and I'm telling you, I'm a guy who likes extreme vehicles. Like, why do I go with the Lamborghini over the Ferrari? Ferraris tend to be a little bit more sensible. The Lamborghinis tend to be more crazy. Like the Aventador in its most aggressive mode when you're shifting, your head's being thrown back in the seat. Some journalists actually complained. I like that kind of stuff. I like raw power. But even for me, I have my limits. And a bike with that kind of power, 300 horsepower, being lightweight, I don't know if electronic suspension could somehow make up for it or something like that, but that sounds very, very scary to me. I'll tell you what, my top pick, some people think I'm a Kawasaki fanboy, my top pick for the current breed of hyperbikes is the Suzuki Hayabusa. Even the fact that it's dated, the gauges are horrible, I still love that bike, and one of the things I love about it is you can top that bike out, take it to any speed, and it's so solid and smooth and comfortable. No problem at all. Top it out and just go for a mile. Now, I haven't topped out the ZX-10R, but I don't know if I'd be that comfortable on a bike like that. I mean, it's simply not designed for that. It's funny every time someone brings up a comparison of the Ninja H2 and Ninja H2R to MotoGP. MotoGP bikes are not designed for extreme speeds. They're not about just going really, really fast. They're about lap time. So you're going fast around the course, but not just high top speed. The Ninja H2R is designed to go faster than a MotoGP bike would go. So with an extreme speed motorcycle, it's gonna be a heavier motorcycle. And again, the problem is people are comparing this to typical sport bikes. They're comparing it to super sport bikes. They're comparing it to race bikes. This is not in any of those categories. The handling and performance of the Ninja H2 and Ninja H2R would have one definitive characteristic, and that would be extreme excitement. When you ride a Ninja H2 or Ninja H2R, your goal will essentially be to have the most fun possible on any two-wheeled vehicle out there. Now, whether the motorcycles will deliver on that promise, I don't know. But as much fun as I've had on the Z1000 from Kawasaki, I'm guessing the Ninja H2 is gonna be a blast, an absolute blast. When you're riding on the Ninja H2, I don't think you're gonna care one bit about the specs and the numbers and all this kind of mumbo jumbo. That's if Kawasaki did it right. But we won't know that until we test ride it. But the important thing is that you realize that that's what it's all about. Extreme excitement. So this video is getting a lot longer than I planned on. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this up into a second part. So definitely subscribe to be notified when I upload the second part. We're gonna go into more details. In the next video, we're gonna talk about the fact that there's other bikes that have similar horsepower and torque numbers at a much lower price point. And we're going to talk about why I'm not so concerned about that. Also, I'm going to talk about the resale value, how you can order the bike. In the meantime, take a look at this video that I did with Andy Leslie from Great Lakes Racecraft, who actually builds supercharged and turbocharged motorcycles. So if you're looking to get into a supercharged bike, but you don't have the money for an H2 or H2R, Andy Leslie at Great Lakes Racecraft can build up your bike to whatever specifications you want. And finally, if you're looking to buy an H2R or an H2, that's a lot of horsepower, a lot of power. It's going to be extreme acceleration. If you want to learn how to handle that kind of power, you want to go to Ricky Gadsden's drag racing school, and he'll teach you how to handle that power as safely as possible. So you can not only impress people with your bike, but also impress them with the fact that you know how to ride it. So go ahead and check it out. RickyGadsdenDragRacingSchool.com. And for the European motorcycle fans who are upset about my comments about the Ducati, you can go to Eurosports.net and take a look at their selection of European motorcycles. One thing I like about these guys is they're very knowledgeable. I've always been impressed with the information that I get from those guys. They did not pay me to say this. That's just been my personal experience. So go ahead and give them a shot if you're looking to buy a Ducati or an Aprilia or MV Agusta or any Italian bike. I actually did a couple of demo rides over there, so you can take a look at those videos as well. I did a demo on the MV Agusta Rivale 800 and the Bramo bike as well. So take a look at those videos. And if you want to see some more of my motorcycle videos, just go to carlylespics.com and click on motorcycles on top, and you'll see all the videos that I've done. There's also car videos there as well, technology. So check it out, carlylespics.com. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Definitely, I know there's arguments all over the internet about this bike and the price and the weight. So definitely, this is your ammunition. You can share this video and shut a lot of people up that really don't understand what these bikes are all about. On a final note, although I'm still very impressed with the Ninja H2 and Ninja H2R, and I don't have a problem with the weight, I don't have a problem with the price, all of my support about this bike is still contingent on how the bikes are to actually ride. Because ultimately, I think that's one of the biggest factors about the H2 and H2R is the riding experience. So until I ride the bike, there's going to be that final question mark. But I'm not concerned about the information that's been put out there. The specs, the performance, the price. I'm fine with everything for the most part. In the back of my mind, I would want to think about it being maybe a little bit lighter. But again, with this kind of extreme power and it's supercharged, I mean, knowing already how a naturally aspirated 1300cc, 1400cc bike feels, and those are heavy bike. I don't know if I'd want to go much lighter than that. Comment below, let me know what you think. This is Carlyle on Your Fast Life, all about motorcycles and cars.
Where do you think you're going? you better move your little mouse and click on that subscribe button now, or I'm going to find you and rip apart your little motorcycle and give you a pink Segway to ride around in front of your little friend while they take photos on their phones and post on Instagram and Twitter, making you the eternal laughing stock of everybody. So you better subscribe to Your Fast Life and my main channel, Carlyle's Picks, or I'm gonna and you're not gonna like it one bit. Peace.